like a show. Not for poison, no for nothing less. Sensation for excellence. Sensation for excellence.
NTA 10, Station for Excellence.
Happy Children's Day, Happy Children's Day to children all around the world.
It's fun time again when we celebrate our precious gifts from God. The annual NTA Lagos Channel 10 Children's Day Party in commemoration of the International Children's Day with the theme Inclusion for Every Child. This year's edition will feature match pass, beauty pageant, games, quiz, schools presentation, watch your favorite artist performance, bouncy castles, and lots more. Schools, families, churches are invited to participate in this fun-filled party. Gate fee, 2,000 naira per child. Date, Monday, 27th May 2024. Venue, NTA Lagos Channel 10, Tejo Shoyaba. Time, 10 a.m. For inquiries, please call Peace on 006 2860936 and Fadeke on 003 913 8161 and Jimo on 003 830 1669. NTA Lagos Children's Day Party promises to be a wonderful experience. Don't miss it. Happy Children's Day!
Ọba tó sọ̀rọ̀ iná jẹyọ. Ẹ̀yin ọba ògo. Ẹ̀yin ọba ògo. Ẹ̀yin olúwa àwọn olúwa. Bàbá mi. Ẹ̀yin ọba ògo. Alágbé ìfúra. Alágbádá iná. Ẹ̀yin ọba ògo.
There is only one station that others look up to. A station where professionalism and class come to play. So in whatever we do, be it news, sports, politics, information and culture, even in entertainment, tourism, education, documentaries and kids programming, we set the standard others want to beat. NTA 10. No one does it better. NTA 10, Station for Excellence.
Now, hello there. It's time for your favorite Sunday show, this Sunday show on Nigerian Television Authority, Channel 10, Lagos Station for Excellence. Whereas we'd rather be actually on a Sunday afternoon than on this channel, where we're prepared for you, okay? Entertaining, informing, and educating you. Of course, today we have a lot lined up for you. We are going to look at Cancer Center, what happens there. Of course, the increase in number of people coming down with cancer, male and female. And then we want to look at what the Cancer Center is going. Then we're also going to look at teenagers and drug abuse. But in talking about teenagers and drug abuse, you think about the epidemic of drug abuse in Nigeria. Now, it's no longer incipient. It's just what is around. and then we are actually being immersed in it and probably being strangled by drug abuse. So one look at how teenagers are involved in drug abuse, and of course a whole lot of other things we have for you lined up today. And I will also be discussing with a Catholic priest. We want to look at today's World Communication Day in the Catholic Church, and of course Mother's Day in the Catholic Church as well in Europe. We want to also talk to the priest and look at what is happening in Communication Day, and then what is happening with our women, how they are managing the homes, the communities, and of course the society at large. My name is Chris Akwarandu, welcoming you to today's edition of the program. But today, in the UN calendar is International Day for Plant Health. Today we are remembering biodiversity, we're remembering the importance of plants, we're remembering the need to protect, help us to fight poverty. These plants where we get medicines from, so that the more we protect them, the more we protect the environment where we get them and nurture them and grow them. And then the more we stay alive, isn't it? So think about those plants that you've been destroying. Do something about them, okay? And then so that we can protect biodiversity, protect our environment, and we can eat. We can end hunger. All right. Okay. I'm Chris Akwarandu. Like I said, knowing Manyama is around, we actually discussed about plant life before we came in here, and he says he eats a lot of fishes. I'm going. I do eat plants. Why not?
With what type?
Vegetables. I'll see you.
There's a place in the building. But you know the matter. Oh my God, I forgot my vegetable. But no problem. You had it. I beg, protect those vegetable things. So please, they are very vital. Oh, yeah, straight to the matter. Straight to the matter. I just had the bell. So hold on, bell. Hold on. Hold on. Are we ready? Yeah, we are ready. So it's going to be 3 in 1. 1, 2, 3. 3 movements. We do them in a circuit style. Now, there's going to be a lot of science around it. You know, I like sciences because we want to create some hormonal soup around that system of ours inside there, the muscles, so that we burn fat during the workout and after, for days after the workout. So for now, I'm going to show you those movements and we're going to add some fun to it. Yeah, where are we starting from? Number 1. Posterior, anterior chain. So we're going to get into what we call a creeping lunge. You see, I'm in a staggered form. See what will happen here. Coming. So stay low, and we're going to be creeping. You know, when you creep, it's like you're moving. I don't want that head up. Just keep this movement. It's like I'm going out of the. Are you looking at me? Just keep creeping, creeping. Something tells me I'm in a lunge position. Yes, I just said that lunge. And if you're not in that position and this is not your level, please get into a squat and just be moving. A lot will happen to you. You understand the meaning of human growth hormone. When you start seeing that bone, it is working. So from here, we're going to get into a bridge, posterior chain, those muscles you cannot see. Where then? Behind me. Now we're going to put a technique to it. We're going to do a bridge or hip thrust. But today, that bear you had, you're going to hold it under tension. Make sure you're squeezing. Stomach in tight. You are breathing in and out. Your shoulders, everything in your hand. Then get to the floor. Yeah? No, your mama, show me what you're talking about. We'll look for those 15 seconds. Raise the hips up. There. Now start squeezing.
Round 1.
See, if you can squeeze so much that, I don't understand what else I can put to this. Be squeezing as much as you can. In and tight. 15 seconds. Let's do another 15 seconds. Make sure. Oh my God. If you do this, you are just increased what? Activation of those posterior chain muscles. They will give you more out of your workout. Okay, the last one. I told you 3 in 1, 1, 2. We have to go back to those pushing muscles. You know, when you fall, you have to push yourself up. So how do we go this in? How do we bring this in? We're going to get into the push-up. No, I like push-up a lot. Everybody should like push-up. But now we're going to add something. Hand release, then explode. Please, don't do this if you can't do this. You just do a push-up. No push-up. But for those that are going to go in, also, flat back. Now lie down. Hand release. Push yourself up. Hand release. And when you take the hand off, make sure it's good for 1 or 2 seconds. And explode. Ordinary, my heart rate is going up. Posterior, anterior. We came back to what? The anterior chain in the pushing muscle style. Did you get that? Still doesn't matter. This will not be complete if you don't take your heart rate off. How do we take the heart rate off? Mr. Nuyamba, give us a system. Give me a system. Oh, let's see. Yes, I've got it. Mr. Chris said, eat vegetable. After this, make sure you get vegetable. I like, which one do I like? I like, which one? Spinach. I like spinach. If it is too cost, look for the one that is not cost. So that will not get trouble. If it is not consistent, it's not going to work. And nutrition is key. Now let's see how we're going to do this now. We're going to be doing the kick out. This one, your heart rate to go up. And please now like to look for modification. If you can't do this, do the regular old school. Don't think jack. Mr. Chris is laughing. I know he's going to eat vegetable again. Increase your vegetable, please. Very vital. Let's see. In 15 seconds, how many can we get in? They've not signaled me today, so let's keep going till they tell us signal. Let's start counting. All of us go to my school. Let's start counting. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh my God, my heart wants to leave me. And if you touch the dial, we're going to have problems. Keep watching the Sunday show. We get plenty things. You see a lovely yellow woman coming in. Don't touch the dial.
To children all around the world.
It's fun time again when we celebrate our precious gifts from God. The annual NTA Lagos Channel 10 Children's Day Party in common International Children's Day with the theme Inclusion for Every Child. This year's edition will feature match pass, beauty pageant, games, quiz, schools presentation, watch your favorite artist performance, bouncy castles, and lots more. Schools, families, churches are invited to participate in this fun-filled party. Gate fee, 2,000 naira per child. Date, Monday, 27th May 2024. Venue, NTA Lagos Channel 10, Tedro Shoyaba. Time, 10 a.m. For inquiries, please call Peace on 006 2860936 and Fadeke on 003 913 8161 and Jimo on 003 830 1669. NTA Lagos Children's Day Party promises to be a wonderful experience. Don't miss it. Happy Children's Day!
Sunday show on NTA Channel 10. Sunday show on NTA Channel 10. Sunday show.
Hello, a lovely afternoon out there to you as I welcome you to the sports segment of the Sunday show. My name remains Stanley Ketuford, and we are good to go. On our menus today, let's start with the news of the day. Sani Aloku, former Super Eagles player and former under-20 player, retired from international football and club football last week after helping Ipswich Town gain relegation back into the EPL. From our end here, we say congratulations to Sani Aloku. We all know Sani Aloku played for Nigeria for some time, both at the under-20 level and at the senior national team. He has a sister called Eniola Aloku. Unfortunately, Eniola didn't play for Nigeria. She opted out to play for England, and she's retired too. She owns a football club, a female football club. She happens to be the first black lady to own a football club, and that football club is called Como FC in Italy. She too has retired, and she's working as a sporting director with a sport company. Congratulations to the two of them. They are sons and daughters of former Senator Gbenga Aloku. Congratulations to them. Away from that, we start the menu for today with the Nigerian Flamingos. Yesterday in faraway Bamako, the Nigerians under 17 national team, the Flamingos, tutored by Coach Bankole Olowokere, played a 1-1 draw with Burkina Faso. The match is a qualifying series for the World Cup of the under 17 World Cup that is coming up later in the year, around November in the Dominican Republic. The next second leg of the match will be held in Lagos at the MKO Abiola Stadium, Abuja. And we feel and believe that the under 17 teams will book a ticket to the next World Cup. We all remember the last World Cup in 2022, they came third. And we believe that this time around, they are going to surpass their former record. Away from that, let's go into the Nigerian Professional Football League. Still on its recess, but matches still being played. Last week, we saw Rivers United playing its outstanding match against Kwara United. The match ended 0-0. Today, Rivers United is playing at the Akure Township Stadium. They will be the guests of Sunshine Stars of Akure. Sunshine Stars is one of the three teams at the bottom of the table. Bayelsa United have escaped relegation. It remains Sunshine Stars, Atlas of Owerri, Gombe United, and Akwa United. Out of these four, who among the four will be the three that will drop to the NNL next season? As it is, the Nigerian Professional Football League is on a recess of 1 month. By next month, 3 matches remaining for them to round up the season. And we'll see what happens. Who did you think will win the league? Rangers International, Remo Star, Enyimba International, or Lobby Star? Among these four, who did you think will give the country a good representation comes next year CAF Champions League? For some time, we've all seen how our teams have not been doing well at the Continental Championship, and we feel this time around we should prepare for us to see a team that will take us to next year CAF Champions League final or semi-final. We saw what Rivers United did, dropping out at the quarter-final stage. That was a flaw, and more money to the purse of the Rivers United team, because as long as you are in the continent, there is more money to catch on. And I think these 4 teams have what it takes to represent Nigeria in next year's CAF Champions League. Yesterday, we saw how in the EPL now, how Man City climbed back to the table. The season will soon end with just 3 matches to go. Today, the big match at the Theatre of Dream, Old Trafford. Manchester United will be hosting Arsenal, the Gunners. A win for Arsenal will give them a slight edge towards winning the EPL. So Man City still have an outstanding match to play. But as it is, who did you think will win the match? Yesterday we saw what happened in some of the matches that were played. Manchester City played a 3-0 draw, 4-0 against Fulham. In the other matches, West Ham defeated Luton Town 4-1. Tottenham Hotspur played a 2-1 draw with Burnley. Newcastle played a 1-1 draw with Brighton, while Everton had a slim 1-0 win over Sheffield United. Bournemouth lost at home to Brentford 2-1. And today, only one match, Man United, Arsenal. Tomorrow, a match, Aston Villa, Liverpool. Well, I'm getting sick now. My time is up. Well, why don't we do this again, same time next week? From my end is bye, as I hand over to Mr. Chris for the continuation of the Sunday show. Mr. Chris, you have it.
Yeah, thank you, Stanley. Stanley will be back on Sunday for some of the stories making waves in the world of sports. But also, he doesn't tell you what will happen between Manchester United and Arsenal today. It's going to be a big match.
United.
Up United. Well, that's interesting. You're still watching the Sunday show on NTA Channel 10 Lagos Session for Excellence. Now it's time to talk about cancer. The Marcel Ruth Care and Specialist Hospital, the cancer center, actually here in Lagos, is partnering with Leadway Health in the diagnosis and treatment of cancer. So let's go over to the Marcel Ruth Care and Specialist Hospital and see what happened there. They held an enlightenment program. So let's get to find out what happened.
It's a new dawn of healthcare provision for Nigeria and West Africa as Marcel Ruth Cancer Center and Specialist Hospital, Nigeria's first world-class oncology center in partnership with Leadway HMO, is set to provide affordable medical care.
Together, Marcel Ruth and Leadway HMO are pioneering a new standard of excellence in cancer treatment, one that is characterized by compassion, innovation, and affordability. In all honesty, at least 50% of cancers, each stage early, can be managed and treated and even cured. So this product actually focuses on creating a huge awareness and ensuring that people begin to take up their preventive health and see a lot of importance in making sure they take up preventive health initiatives. Marcel Ruth's reputation as a premier institution for cancer treatment and care in Nigeria precedes it. And we're proud to partner with them on this noble endeavor of providing comprehensive health insurance, retail health insurance to Nigerians. Leadway Health is committed to ensuring that every individual has access to high quality, affordable healthcare services when they need it the most. Our partnership with Marcel Ruth allows us to fulfill this commitment by offering comprehensive healthcare solutions that are accessible at a measured rate that is consistent and beneficial to subscribers.
Our major reason for doing is to look after cancer patients, and that's because obviously the background in oncology and the huge gap in the market. When we started, we see patients who are now coming from other countries or nearby countries, from Cameroon, from Nigeria, to go and access care here.
Speaking at the product launch, the chairman and co-founder of Marcel Ruth Cancer and Specialist Hospital, Mr. Bolaji Odunsi, in his address reiterated that the revitalization of the health sector cannot be left to the government, hence the need for the partnership.
The issue here is not one of demand for medical care, but an inability to pay. And our insurance package is designed to address this by making it more affordable, more comprehensive, and taking the worry out of unexpected expenses caused by illness. Very few, if any, patients have the ability to fund the treatment on their own. It really is tragic. The 200,000 people that get cancer annually in Nigeria, they don't have access to anybody, they die. So it's as simple as that. For these goals, patients will find not only latest technology and equipment, but a sanctuary of support, understanding, and hope. We believe in treating the whole person, not just the disease, and it is this holistic approach that sets Marcel Ruth apart from the others. And those are the solutions that we seek to offer alongside our new partners, Leadway Health.
Highlight of the event was a facility tour to showcase the cutting-edge medical facilities and passionate care that defines Marcel Ruth Cancer Center and Specialist Hospital.
Talking about the fact that this is not just about cancer care. This is comprehensive health care that you could possibly maybe get out there, apart from the excellence in the way we deliver ours. All of that plus a very generous benefit for cancer treatment. Then on top of that, this is the only insurance plan in Nigeria that is truly, walking the talk when it comes to prevention being better than care. Because once you walk in through the door to enter this plan, the very first thing you get hit by is a compulsory annual screening that goes beyond the basic everyday healthcare everybody does, missing out important cancer screening. This includes what everybody else will offer you, and then cancer screening. What that does is that if there is what we call cancer in situ, cancer that nobody has seen, you are able to detect it early, you are able to take actions. The cost of treatment is lower when cancer is detected early. The chances of cure is higher.
For us here, it's really about education, okay, destigmatization, and basically raising the awareness of the importance of an annual health check. Okay, it's really a very small proportion of people, more than 100 people, have been with us for health checks. 0.4% had cancer, but bigger killers, high blood pressure, cholesterol, strokes, liver failure because of excessive drinking, being overweight. There are many other things. So it's really looking at the whole package and saying, look, educate their lifestyles and to live healthier and then live longer.
Let's be clear about this. Treatment for cancer is expensive everywhere in the world, including here in Nigeria. But access to treatment is a problem. And therefore, by partnering with Leadway, we are committing to giving people the opportunity to have treatments, at least kickstart their treatment. Even if they have to raise more money later on, at least it takes away some of that burden. It stops people from finding out that they have a problem, and because they have no money, they can't access care, and that delays their treatment. So this will really ensure that more people can get on and have their treatments while being able to raise money or for the rest of their care.
Having attended to over 3,000 patients in Nigeria and beyond, the management of Marcel Ruth Cancer Center and Specialist Hospital believe that their collaboration with Leadway Health will significantly prevent death related to cancer, provide more treatment options, and ultimately curb health tourism.
Well, that was Marcel Ruth, a specialist care center for cancer, in partnership with Leadway Health, and that's the first anyway, actually, in this part of the world. You could see the center is well equipped. What is most important about cancer is to diagnose it on time. Early detection. Once you're aware, in fact, any kind of sickness anyway, once you're aware of what is wrong with you, you'll be able to find a solution, isn't it? But if you allow it to stay and metastasize, there is nothing medicine can do. There's also nothing God can do at that point in time anyway. You have actually committed your own suicide yourself. So Marcel Ruth Center is well equipped. And we're happy we have that in our environment, partnering with Leadway Health. And I understand that it can get up to 10 million, in cancer care and treatment. So you can imagine that's good news, isn't it? Okay, so we offer our heart for the center and the management, and we do hope they'll maintain the center. All right. Well, moving away from cancer now, we're also moving into an epidemic, something that might engulf all of us in the next couple of years, and that is teenage drug abuse. And then, well, before we go on network news, I guess we have 1 or 2 questions for her. I have here Ambassador Rosalind Anijieku. She's the Chief Executive Officer of Kavera World, and then this is an NGO that is interested in helping teenagers grow properly. And then, so Ambassador Anijieku, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, you're looking smart. That's cool.
Thank you.
All right. When we talk about drug abuse, even government is doing a lot. Since the past administration, we've been doing quite a lot. And of course, recently, you know about the bill in National Assembly about death sentence for drug trafficking. Okay, and the debate is still going on. But our concentration on this program is with the teenagers because it's become troubling. I don't want to name some areas, but there are flashpoints at Woodley, and there are areas of endemicity. But can we? Oh, okay. So we'll come back to you. But let's go over to the network service for the news highlights, and we'll come back. I'll continue with Ambassador Rosalind Anijieku on teenagers and drug abuse. Don't go away. I'll be right back.
Welcome. These are the stories trending at this time. I am Vivian Izadifi. President Bola Tinubu extends his warm congratulations to the President of the Republic of Chad, Mahamat Deby, on his re-election victory. President Tinubu affirms that the successful conduct of elections in the nations underlines the commitment of the government and the people of Chad to democracy and orderly transition in the region. The President assures President-elect Deby that Nigeria will continue to work closely with the Republic of Chad as both countries seek to enhance peace, security, and shared prosperity for the mutual benefit of their people. Catalans go to the poll on Sunday in the regional votes, which offers the choice of an exiled separatist politician who led a breakaway push in 2017 or anti-independence government led by the Socialist Party. Opinion poll forecasts a comfortable lead for Socialist candidate Salvador Ilar over the hardline separatist Junts and its more moderate rival Esquerra Republicana de Catalunya, which currently governs the wealthy northeastern region. John's candidate is Carl Puigdemont, who was Catalonia's president during an ill-fated attempt to wrest the region from Spain in 2017 before fleeing to Belgium, and he has vowed to resurrect an independence bid. On a 3-day visit to Nigeria to promote his Invictus Games, Prince Harry on Saturday played a seated volleyball match with army veterans, most wounded in battle against the country's Islamist insurgents. At an officers' mess complex in Abuja, Harry's team, dressed in yellow, played off in an exhibition against a team led by Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff, the country's top commander, with chants of Team Harry, when they scored. The Prince's team took an early lead with players seated on foam mats, some missing legs. Prince Harry and his wife Meghan are currently in Lagos, where they have pledged commitment to grooming basketball talents in Africa through the Giant of Africa project. The couple promised to build more basketball courts across Nigeria through their foundation to harness talents in the country. Apart from sports and the Invictus Games, Prince Harry assured the people that other humanitarian initiatives will soon begin to manifest for the benefit of Nigerians. And those are the stories trending at this time. Thanks for watching. I am Vivian Izadifi.
Sunday show on NTA Channel 10.
Well, if you're just joining us, this is Nigerian Television Authority Channel 10 Studios, Station for Excellence, just back from Network Service. Well, before we went on the network news highlights session, I introduced Ambassador Roslyn Anijeku of Kavera World. That's a non-governmental organization trying to help teenagers find their way through a maze of distractions, a maze of disturbing circumstances that may likely lead them away from the proper path of growth and development. And today we're looking at drug abuse. And then, so Ambassador Roslyn Anijeku, welcome once more to the program.
Thank you.
Now, before we went on network news highlights, I was trying to ask you to paint me a picture of the life of a teenager in this part of the world.
Okay. A teenager is a person from the age of 13 to 19. Yeah, and the teenagers are really the foundation. But it's so unfortunate that this foundation is not well laid, and that is where the problem starts. The more the people, the society, recognize those teenagers as the foundation, that is where the future will be bright and solid for them. Because the teenage stage is a very radical stage, it's a very sensitive stage, it's an informative stage that they need to be put right, they need to be directed to the right path. That is the stage where they need to discover who they truly are, because a person who does not know who he or she is from that stage, the person would not know the value that he or she has, and it becomes a problem. It takes only a person who knows who they really are to move to the right path. And that is why teenagers are indulging in drug abuse, because most of them don't know who they are. And they are the foundation.
All right. Okay, well, before we move further, can we look at how Kavera World came about, really? Because you actually done a good job in trying to bring the attention of families, I don't want to say parents, or families, to who a teenager should be, not necessarily what a teenager is now. So how did you come about with Kavera World?
Okay, Kavera World, Kavera World is an organization, a foundation that is basically focused on teenagers. So it started 10 years ago, looking back at my foundation as a teenager. So I observed that the teenagers are the most people that really need to be looked into. And the only way I can contribute my own quarter to my country is by setting up this foundation to really talk about the things, to be a voice for them, to channel them to the right path. So that's why Kavera World, we organize our teens hangouts, seminars, and lots of other things. And the main focus there is to help them to discover who they are. So the foundation is focused on teenagers to help them discover who they are.
Okay. One of the conduits of getting engaged in drug addiction is peer pressure. As youths get together, there's a tendency to try and copy each other, to belong, to be part of a class, part of a group, part of a cult, part of an association. Okay, so do you think that's a very breeding ground for drug addiction?
Well, yes, I think so, because teenagers, they are in that stage where they just want to belong, they want to do what others are doing, so they are easily influenced by their peers. And that's the reason why we also involve their parents, their teachers, and also calling on government, because they need to work hand in hand to help them out. Because this peer influence is eating up a lot of things, because I'm a mother of some teens. I have 3 teenagers in my house.
Okay.
I struggle with them sometimes, and I know some parents also do, because I have a platform for mothers. There are about 300 of them in that platform.
Okay.
So most time we take them on seminars, we have some kind of hangouts, we talk about the teens. So we found out that that stage is a very challenging stage. So Mothers need to play a very vital role in helping them to overcome this peer influence. How? The mothers need to create a very deep bond between them and their teens. Because whereby there is no bond between parents and their teenagers, the teenagers will be so free to follow up with their friends. They will be easily influenced. They will be easily moved to do whatever other people are doing. But whereby there is a family value that has been instilled in them, that will go a long way in keeping them to the right path. That will help them to learn when to say yes or no. So that also make them to always have the right choice, make the right choice rather. They will make the right choice, and they will always recognize what their family is against. But whereby there is no family bond, the teenagers, they become so free. They don't even understand. They see that this is what my mates, my peers are doing, my mates are doing. It's just a normal thing, and they easily go towards that path, doing it, believing that it's just a stage. This is what our aims are into, and they don't even feel remorse for it. They don't see the dangers. All they see at that moment is this is what our mates are doing.
We're talking about doing what others are doing. Statistics shows about 37–40% of our young people are engaged in drug addiction. But in certain areas, it's even much more than that. It could get up to 60%. And that is very disheartening. So being a mother of teenagers as well, and having an NGO that deals with teenagers, what do you think holistically could be the major causes of this spike in drug addiction within this phase of life?
Well, I think the major issue is lack of family bond. I stick to that. And the reason why I stick to that is I conduct a counseling session for teenagers. And what I hear most time is, my mommy is not always in the house. Like there's one that told me, the mom actually called me and told me that the boy is taking drugs, I should speak to him. So when he came to my office, he told me, I asked him, what about your dad? He laughed and told me, the dad is not always around, that he travels, he comes back today, he travels the next day, that he doesn't have time for us. Do you understand? So I started thinking, because that has been the response from so many of them. So it still goes down to family bond. Parents need to really sit up and know that these teenagers should be one of their most priorities, because whatever they don't get right now in this their stage, they can't get it right when they become older, because this is the right stage to mold them. So family bonding is the best way to curb this drug abuse in teens, because when the moment parents create time for their teenagers and starts to tell them all the right things they need to know, put them right, teach them family values, like I said earlier, I think it will sink in them, because these teenagers, you don't just talk to them once and you believe that that's all. You need to constantly speak to them. You need to constantly direct them and push them to the right path, because their brains are developing. You might tell them today one thing today, when they go out, they mix up with their peers and they want to move with whatever they hear from their peers. That's why the voice of the parent needs to be so loud, louder than any other voice they hear. Because even on social media, they hear a lot of voices. They see a lot of things. Like when you open up your phone, you see so many things popping up that they shouldn't see. So all these things contribute to it. They see a lot of role models out there who take drugs, even they do it openly, they smoke, they drink. So to them, they believe that, oh, it is normal. So they really need a voice that will counter all these negative voices. They need a voice who will speak to them and make them understand that that is not the way of life. They need a voice that will put them right. And that voice should not just be heard once, but it should be a continuous thing until they overcome or outgrow this teenage stage.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's quite interesting. We're talking about voices to be heard now. These teenagers are almost always in school. So the school authorities have a lot to do with molding their minds at this point in time. Since you say the minds are malleable, it is what you put into it that the mind gets at. Is like rubbish in, rubbish out. So, what the schools should do at this point in time, because it does look as if the lot of schools are now lax in terms of how to manage these teenagers. It's just those that are agreeable that are shepherded towards certain direction. Those that are not agreeable, you just leave them to their fate. After all, they're not your children. You're only a caretaker. So what do you think the schools should do? Because this is becoming an epidemic. In trouble.
Yeah, well, the school have a lot of roles to play because looking at it, even the ones that are not in the boarding house, they spend more hours in the school than in the home. You know? So this school have a lot of roles to play. And the number one is they need to make sure they have counseling sessions. And it shouldn't be maybe something that will be done maybe once in a month or once in a term. So it should be, they should map out maybe 3 times in a week whereby they talk to these teenagers, knowing fully well that that is the right thing to do. And another thing is, so many schools don't have trained teachers who can actually detect or figure out when some things are going wrong in the life of their students. So many teachers are so unprofessional. So I think the government needs to really come in and also figure out a way how they can go to schools and find out the quality of teachers they have. If they actually have the right people who are qualified to be teachers, who can carry out the right work in order to help these things to stand. So that is another way. Then also the teachers need to liaise with the parents because there are some activities. Sometimes some parents don't know the behavior of their students in school. So it takes, and the students might not be able to communicate to the parents the right thing, especially the ones that are not behaving well. So it takes the teachers to communicate to the parents, to bring them in and tell them, okay, this is who your child is. Are you aware that this is what your child is doing? But unfortunately, so many schools don't do that. They don't communicate to their parents. They don't bring them in to carry them along to know what their teenagers are up to in school.
Well, okay, Ambassador, before we go, I'll probably ask you 2 questions there, but let's look at the role the religion plays. You see, the more we have more religious organizations, whether they're Muslims or Christians, the more we have these crimes in society, especially drug addiction. And then these youths actually make up a large percentage of these religions. So what role does religion play now? I mean, in terms of whether they're pastors or imams, in trying to help curb this level of drug addiction, which has really surpassed what we can talk about here now.
Yeah. The Christians, the Muslims, they really have a whole lot of role to play as well. It shouldn't just be all about preaching or to be good or be. They really need to map out time to also organize seminars in the church, inviting the right body to come speak to them on the dangers of drugs, both in the church and in the mosque. Because this is a general thing that is destroying lives in our country. So they need to sit up and do the right thing. Inviting like NDLEA to come speak to them, also invite other bodies that can come speak to them, motivate them, and help them to know that indulging in drugs is not the right thing. I believe by doing so, those teenagers, many of them will adhere to that advice to cut off from drug abuse.
All right, now I've been speaking with Ambassador Roselyn Anijeku of Cape World, and you would agree with me, it's been a scintillating interview. It's been quite illuminating, quite exciting, an in-depth appreciation of the problem we have, and then the roles that people should play, whether they're parents, teachers, the government, religious leaders, community leaders, opinion leaders, and of course the teenagers themselves. Because at the end, they are actually the ones that will get themselves out of the trouble they find themselves in. It will interest you to know that 10-year-old children are drug addicts in certain parts of our society. And this is not a lie. 7 a.m. in the morning, you see them almost half naked and then walking like zombies in certain parts of our cities. These are facts that are incontrovertible. And we can't continue like this because very soon we'll be having all of them walking on the streets. So many mad people on the streets, depressed people, people jumping into the lagoon and drowning. And then they'll be blaming it on government. So what are we doing? What are we doing to curb this menace before it engulfs us? So, well, it's quite interesting talking to you. But then before you go, I'd like to also ask you, Cavera World, what are you doing to assist in getting this sorted out?
Okay. Cavera World, like we just celebrated the National Teenager Day last 2 months, March 21st. And we invited the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. They partnered with us. So they came and they gave them talk on drug abuse and addiction.
Great.
Yeah.
So, and Ambassador, it's a pleasure talking with you. I do hope you come again when we call you. Okay. All right. So, and then I'll allow her go now so I can talk to my next guest. But of course, if you want to reach, you can get across to us and then you can get across to her. So it's been interesting. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. So don't go away. This is still the Sunday Show, Nigerian Television Authority Channel and Lagos Station for Excellence. Don't go away. My next guest is around. We'll be talking about communication, the society, and the church.
Children's Day to children all around the world.
It's fun time again when we celebrate our precious gifts from God. The annual NTA Lagos Channel 10 Children's Day Party in commemoration of the International Children's Day with the theme Inclusion for Every Child. This year's edition will feature match pass, beauty pageant, games, quiz, schools presentation, watch your favorite artist performance, bouncy castles, and lots more. Schools, families, churches are invited to participate in this fun-filled party. Gate fee, 2,000 naira per child. Date, Monday, 27th May 2024. Venue, NTA Lagos Channel 10.
Now, this is still the Sunday Show on Nigerian Television Authority Channel 10 Lagos, Session for Excellence. And my next guest is Reverend Father Anthony Godunu. He's the Director of Communication with the Archdiocese of Lagos. So, welcome, Father.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me. After a long while of coming.
Yes, I know. Now, today is Communication Day in the church, but also Mothering Sunday as well in some parts of Europe.
Yes.
Yes. So, I know, but in Europe, yes. So, but let's look at communication. Because even while I was discussing with Ambassador Rosen and DJ Kuna and we're talking about drug abuse, I've also found out that communication is at the core of all the ills in the society. So what role do you think communication and the church would play in righting some of these wrongs?
Well, perfectly. Thank you for having me. Today is the 58th World Communications Day, and one of the things that we have been discussing since throughout last week up to today is about the use of artificial intelligence for the good of humanity. But of course, the Pope also warned that if we are not careful, this artificial intelligence can also make us into robots, because there are so many ills in the society that can overtake a good instrument of communication like AI to turn things around. Of course, the best way in order to flush out ills or to get people more educated about what to do and what they ought not to do and all that is to have a proper means of communication. And some of the means of communication, of course, we have the broadcasting as we have right now, which is we are using as a platform to educate the society about the use of drug abuse you just talked about. And of course, today we have talked about the internet, the social media, eating up all the mainstream media. And then within the social media now, we have the broadcast, we have the audio, we have everything complete there. And so the social media is a veritable tool that we need to grab, that the authority, the church, the family, and everything, we need to take hold of it in order to be able to transmit morals through which our children will be able to grow and grow in the appropriate way they need to grow, so as not to become tools in the hands of evils and all that. Of course, when you talk about the means of communication in the Archdiocese of Lagos, we are making all the necessary efforts to go into the media. You see a lot of priests, Catholic priests, that are rolling out their daily reflections, those who are also making some kind of daily media education in terms of every aspect of life. You talk about Father Oloma in Abuja Archdiocese. You follow him on social media, on Facebook. You see how he postulates thoughts that can actually influence the hearts and the minds of people positively. And those are the things that we are really doing, employing the full mechanism of the means of communication in order to propagate what is about faith and morals.
Okay, you talked about the social media. It's actually very hard to censor what goes on there, because it does look as if anything goes. I know that the Nigerian government is trying to see how they can manage the social media. And of course, a lot of people are shouting it will infringe on personal liberties and all that.
Yeah,
but
I care about that as well.
Yeah, but then you can't have liberty ad limitum. It cannot be limitless liberty, because where your own rights end is where another person's begins. Yeah, so is the church talking about management of social media?
Definitely. If you take a look at a couple of messages that the popes have passed in the past 10 years, it has always bothered about the careful use of the social media. I think last year or 2 years ago, there was something that Pope Francis talks about social media not being used as a means of hiding behind the social media in order to bring about division in the society, and the need for both the church and the government to come together and dialogue of how to truly and sincerely regulate the social media. The church is not saying that the government should not regulate social media, but the fact that if the church does not come, or the civil society, they do not come into the table when you are postulating all those regulations and all that, then it will run foul of what is supposed to be as entrenched in the Constitution, that we all have the freedom of communication, the freedom of speech and all that. So that is what I will admonish the government, that when the time comes to regulate social media, which I agree with, then all the stakeholders must be on board, so that we'll have a proper and sincere and just and fair regulation of the social media.
All right, further, if you listened in a bit to when I was discussing with Ambassador Rosalind Ijeku, I was telling her that religion is actually part of our problem, in the sense that when we have multiplicity of churches and Muslim groups where religion is seen everywhere, yet the society is going worse. What do you think should be done?
Well, it is sad to have such a situation where you have proliferation of churches, and yet you have so many evils. Even inside churches, you find some moments of evil, which is very pathetic. But that is not unconnected to human growth and development. Every human society, right from the beginning, has every generation has its own moments of ill, and when you have a society filled with humans, we have the bad, the good, the ugly. The fact that we are having at the moment so many churches, and yet things are not really moving fine as it ought to be, then maybe it may be an allusion to the fact that our country is in a bad state, through which because of poverty and ignorance and people trying to cash in on the vulnerable people who are seeking God's help in order to get to what they want. And it is just unfortunate. But that does not mean that there are no sincere pastors or priests or churches that are really behind the good of humanity.
Well, Padre, I don't quite have much time. Now, I'd like you to advise the families, because that's where everything actually starts. Okay, whether they're ill, they start from there. Whether they're bad leaders, they also start from there. Whether they're bad pastors and imams, they all start from there. So, can we advise the families and the society, of course, the government, as to what to do so that communication will become a positive tool and not to be used negatively to, through society into destruction, yes, into chaos.
Yes, very quickly. The family is the foundation of the society. If the family is taken over by evil, then the society is already taken by evil. So mothers, fathers, children, all must be involved in the terms of knowing what is good and right and impacting to other generation. The mothers, these days we have young parents that do not really know what to do. So we need people to be more enlightened so that they can have information, facts and figures with which to impart upon their children who will become better citizens in society.
All right. Well, viewers, I've been talking with Reverend Father Anthony Godonu. He is the Director of Communication in the Archdiocese of Lagos. Thank you very much, Padre.
Thank you,
for
sir,
being on the program. I
hope
you come again. We are calling.
No, I saw your call. Several times during the late, but
Thank you so much. Well, that's the size of our program today, and then you must have enjoyed what we presented to you today. But then it's also food for thought. If we are going to treat cancer in the society, we must do early diagnosis. All right. And then we also thank Reverend Father Godonu for being here, and then Ambassador Rosalind for being on the program today. So we'll be back again on Sunday, God willing, and we thank all those behind the scenes. And then, of course, you have to stay alive to enjoy me on Sunday. I'm Chris Okwando. Bye for now.
Parenting is vital to